you don't need any fancy equipment to make the pasta we're making today. Cooking instructors Betty Ann Donegan, Stephanie Dietz, and their student Lauren Williams are here to share a recipe for gnocchi. I understand it's an easy recipe, right?
It is.
Not so bad?
Yeah, it's very simple. It's very simple. Lauren's going to do it. She's going to show you how to do it.
And Lauren, go ahead. You tell me.
So right now I have half of a potato in this ricer. And you're just going to push it down, and it gets it very fine.
I've never seen a tool quite like this, but leave it to you.
Well, it's like a big garlic press. If you had patience, you could use a garlic press to do this in little tiny bits. Or you could use a potato masher, or you could even use a fork.
So you just boil the potatoes first, right?
Yeah, the potato should weigh about 6 ounces. You want to have a medium potato, and you have to boil it with the skin on.
Okay.
If you cut it up and you boil it with the skin off, it absorbs too much liquid.
Oh, okay.
And then you have to add a lot of flour, and that's what makes the gnocchi heavy.
Ah.
So these are going to be very, very, very light.
Now, explain to everyone what a gnocchi is.
It's pasta.
Made with some potato.
This is potato gnocchi. There's gnocchi that's made without potatoes.
Oh, okay.
There's gnocchi that's made with ricotta. You can really do lots of things. This is really, really peasant food, though.
All right.
So she's making a little well in the middle of the potato, and she's going to put a little flour all around the edge. Lauren is one of my campers. We had camp.
Yes, I was going to ask why Lauren is joining us today, but
Yeah.
you had summer camp. Is this the first time you've been to summer camp with them?
Third.
Oh, you keep coming back.
We do.
What do you make at summer camp? Some of your favorite dishes?
We make like everything. We've made carrot cake, we've made gnocchi.
Get this all.
A little salt?
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
We do lots of baking, lots
A lot of
bread.
baking too?
Yeah, we do a lot of these. We made brioche this year.
Oh.
We made canna de ganata, which is a meat dish.
Cinnamon bread.
Ooh, that sounds delightful.
We made risotto.
How many kids are in the class?
10. We made risotto. We did a couple kinds of cookies. We did a chicken stuffed with apples.
All right, Lauren, you got to tell me what you just did here.
Okay, so I just poured in a tablespoon of olive oil, 1 egg yolk, and a pinch of salt. And so now we're just going to stir it together. And you can do this with a fork, but I think it's
or
easier.
your hand.
Yeah,
Right?
I think it's
Either or.
easier with your hand. So.
And she's going to work that up into a dough and knead it a little bit.
Okay.
And I have a batch of gnocchi cooking in here because we want them to be ready for
Ah,
the
the made-for-TV
taste, so,
version.
yes,
Very
exactly,
nice, very
exactly.
nice.
Now this makes about 8 or 9 ounces of gnocchi, this one recipe, and this is for 2 people.
Okay. Very good.
And you can serve this as an appetizer, which would be for 4 people, or you can serve it as a main course. The gnocchi is very filling, and this is, like I said, this is real peasant food, but it really is delicious, and it's a very much a staple in southern Italy.
I gotta tell you, it's one of my favorite meals
Yeah.
of all time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's
I love
where we learned
these.
to make it.
Oh, did you? While you were on vacation?
Well, this particular style of gnocchi, I had not done potato gnocchi. I've always done gnocchi with ricotta. Yeah, and so this is, like I said, it's very interesting. The nice part about this, you don't need any equipment.
Ah, okay.
Because if you have to have a pasta machine and you have
it's
to have
a pain in the neck.
well, it's not that it's a pain in the neck. It just gets expensive especially for the kids.
That's true.
So this is very simple, and now we have this board because this counter is very, very, very slippery, and when she starts to roll these out, this would be hard to do. It'd be hard to do it on the counter.
Okay.
So if you don't have a board this big, you could use a cutting board. I have it secured on the counter with a towel underneath,
Oh, so
it
it's
won't
not moving.
slide. Because when she starts to knead it, she's going to be pushing.
Okay.
So I've been teaching children how to cook since the late 70s.
I feel like you've been teaching me too for quite a while now.
Well, I just feel it's very, very important. You know, one of the sad statistics that came out this year was that babies being born nowadays have a shorter life expectancy than their parents or grandparents because of the way they're being fed.
Really?
Because they stopped teaching home economics in schools about 30 years ago, and now the mothers that are of childbearing age don't know how to cook, so they're not cooking properly for their children, and so they're estimating the life expectancy to be less, and that's really to me
terrible.
a very sad statistic.
There's so many memories in the kitchen cooking with
I know,
my mom and that
I know,
type of thing.
I know. So I'm doing my best and everything that I can to teach as many children as I can
Good.
how to cook. Most of these kids are my neighbors. They all walk to class, and it's interesting because I had their mothers. One little boy, I had his mother, his grandmother, and his great-grandmother.
Get out. Oh, how fun that is,
I
though.
know.
Generations.
I know, all the generations. And and they love to do it. They just love to do it. And they make dinners for their families, and it's really been a very fulfilling, rewarding
your
experience.
Life lessons with cooking,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Now, Stephanie, let me ask you, how long do you have to cook these gnocchis for?
Well, it's just a couple of minutes
They're
because
quick, right?
they're very
They
fresh.
float to the top when they're done?
Yep, they've been floating for a few minutes, but the best way to tell is to taste it.
Okay.
So that's really what you have to do, because you don't want it to be too chewy inside, but you don't want to go so far as that they start to fall apart and get mushy.
Got it.
These
All
are
right.
looking like they're about done, though.
Lauren, what have you done here? You kind of sectioned off the dough?
you're just gonna cut it into 4 pieces and start to roll it into like long, skinny snakes.
Okay.
Now, we had a cup of flour here, but that's going to depend on the potato, the type of potato that you use. You need at least a potato that weighs at least 6 ounces. We had 1 egg yolk, and of course the egg yolk could vary too. I always use extra large eggs, but if you use a smaller egg,
It'll make a
it'd be
difference,
less
okay.
liquid. So you have to add the flour as you need it. N-E-E-D need it. You know, as you need it, K-N-E-A-D, because if you put too much flour in, then they get dry.
Okay.
So so you can see we have quite a bit of flour. Of course, it's also very dry in here. On a humid day, you would need a lot.
Oh, really? That makes a difference, too.
Oh, very much so. You need a lot more flour on a very
You're
humid day.
making the little pillows here. I used to call these macaroni pillows.
Yeah. Now you can rub these over a fork if you want. I mean, that's also, they don't taste any different when you do that. If you wanted to, you could rub them over a fork. And they also have these little tools that you could use. But this is, like I
This
said,
looks very professional, Lauren. I'm highly impressed. Way to go. So then you're pretty much done. You fill these in boiling water?
well, when you get them all done, you don't want to throw them in and then you want to finish cutting them up
wanna
first.
do them all at once,
You want to
okay.
do them all at once, yeah, because they don't take, go ahead, you can do another one. They don't take too long to cook. So if you put them in the water as you made them,
Okay.
the first ones in would be way overdone. And what happens is they get soggy.
Got it. Stephanie, I'm getting the wraps, so I want to try one of
right,
those
here
if
you
I
go.
can. I'm going to reach right in here, Lauren. You continue to make those gnocchis.
I have a fork
Oh,
for
you
you.
got a fork for me. So we did a pesto sauce and a meat sauce. Oh, they're perfect. Oh, they're so good.
Nice and light, right?
This is fantastic. All right, guys, thank you so much. I know the crew's going to taste this at the end of the show, and we'll have the recipe on WTNH.com. Lauren, it was a pleasure to meet you.
Oh, it
Come
was-
back again.
Thank you. It was great meeting you too.
All right, we're